Welcome back to the studio. Christopher Blalock Fine Art. Today we're going to be looking at using color and value to establish contrast in the most effective possible way so that your images really pop. Now this is not a hard lesson, but it is a vital one for anyone that's trying to transition up to a more effective level in their art. So let's get started. I've already primed a canvas back here, and I'm working from my dark to my medium to my light. And what we're going to do is use the principles of the color wheel using complementary colors and using the light against dark, dark against light principle. So let's get started. Oh crap, I dropped my brush. Hold on a second. This happens to everybody, right? You're in your studio and you're working and you drop whatever was in your hand, or you put it down and it just vanishes out of the space-time continuum. It's not here, but I have a pretty good idea of where it may be. Hold on. You folks sit tight. Keep the home fires burning. If I'm not back by dawn, call the president. I'd like a small coffee, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy.
Of course, there it is. So yeah, I'm downtown at the world famous Safe House Coffee Roasters. Swing by, get yourself a cup of Legacy coffee. It's incredible stuff, and they're good friends. Come support local business. Even if you're not local, look them up online. They are world famous. They'll ship it right to you. In the meantime, let's get back to the studio and finish this lesson. I've got a background set up here, very simple. I'm using just a kind of plum purple background that's going from dark to light, and we're going to be using contrast and color to establish depth and to make this thing pop. So after all that, it's not the brush I'm using. So what I've got on my palette right now is just a little bit of plain red, got some primary yellow and some yellow ochre, and what I'm going to do is just shoot in a shape. We're not going to name it. If it ends up being something, that's great. If not, that's cool too. So what I'm going to do is I'm mixing a little bit of gesso with primary yellow to get some opacity, and I'm just going to slather in a shape here, light against dark, dark against light, and the complement of purple or violet on the color wheel, of course, is yellow. So it's automatically going to pop for us. And I am not going to be blending strokes. I'm painting on masonite, so it's already thirsty enough as it is. Just shooting in some raw color using a very loose, choppy stroke. Going to go to some yellow ochre as we move away from the light source. Light is coming from our left, going to our right. And so let's just get this shape shot in here. It may end up being an apple or a pear or something, I don't know. But we're just going to keep working these colors in. Going back and forth between my dark and my light, letting some of that violet show through, because that's going to give me my mid-tone all by its lonesome with no help from me whatsoever. Alright, and then it's just a matter of working the issue. You want to make sure that you have a light, a mid, and a dark, or a shadow. Excuse me. And one of the ways to measure yourself, I've got one right here, get a red lens, okay? It doesn't matter if it's red cellophane, red tape, a transparency sheet. Mine is a lens out of an old military issue flashlight. It's just a plain red lens, and if you look through it at what you're painting, it makes everything go to a gray tone for you so that you can see if you're establishing highs and lows or not. Color can deceive you, the artist, and you might be perceiving that you have a mid and a dark and a light, but you don't. And so you want to check it that way. And I'm coming in with some red to go darker over here on this side. I have light here, so I want dark here. I'm going to dig into some of that plum color that I made earlier and just let it be dirty with the yellow and the mud color that I've already established. Mud color. The plum color that I've already established. And we're just hatching that color in there. not being formal. If you name what you're painting, if I say to myself that I am painting a apple or a pear, then my brain is going to get stuck on apple or pear instead of just light, color, and contrast, which is what we want to be focused on right here. So let's just get this popped in here and say, look, I'm just making a shape. Again, working that mid-tone. I'm going to grab some of my white, come over here and just really hammer in that my light source is up here. This light against dark. And then down here, I'm just going to blend this a little bit. Blending is the wrong word, I should say. I'm just going to kind of steady my transition of contrast out a little bit. And then, of course, if my light is coming from up here, my shadow is going to go this way. I'm digging into the darkest color I've got, this blue. We're going to shoot in a shadow. And now I'm at the point where if I wish, let's play with contrast a little more. Let's just come over here and give it some puddles of light. Smacking around over here. We're not overly, oh, look at that, that's beautiful. Some of the red and yellows coming through. So then let's just come up here and let's give old thing here a little bit of a stem. And if my light is coming from the top left, I'm just going to come over here and kiss the top of that stem and this side. There would be a little bit of a light here, touching. Light's coming this way, it's touching here where the fruit comes in. And then, very simply, you're going to put a little shadow here. It would be darker because the light's hitting here and casting a shadow. Come back over the top of that with a little bit of light. And because I didn't name this before I painted it, it was just a shape, then I was able to just create this image without overthinking it, because overthinking is something that most artists will do. Gets us into a world of trouble. We're thinking to ourselves, gee, that doesn't look like a tree, or that doesn't look like a flower, or that doesn't look like a person. Well, I'm going to let you in. I've said this before, but I'm going to let you in on what Monsieur Monet said that really, really changed everything, I think, for him, and I know for me. And it was simply this: I am not painting a flower or a person or a tree or this piece of fruit. I am putting pigment on a surface to represent this piece of fruit. And that makes all the difference in the world. Let me play with this a little bit. There's a little glowy light maybe hitting over here and under here. And since we had a little boo-boo there, we'll just use it. Same thing. And now we've got a little glowy piece of fruit. Yay! Nothing to it once you do it. There's nothing to do except do it. Remember, the more that you do, the more you can do. And the more that you work in your medium, the more prolific you're going to become, and the more accomplished you're going to become. Let me play a little color down here, just for the giggles of it. We're going to mute it down a little bit, but look, there it is. Because why not? We're doing a colorful painting. All right, so I hope this helps you out. Again, the principles are we're using light against dark, light against dark. We have a high value, a mid value, and a dark value. I'll keep playing with this as we go off here. I'll darken this up a little bit more just because I can, to show you how the different ways that this can work. And we're just chopping it in there. But do a little practice. Use that color wheel. We're using color and value to establish the shadows and to create depth. And I strongly encourage you, get a red something transparent that you can see through and use it to judge your value scales. And you will not be able to go wrong. It's really going to help you. Put a little shadow here. It's really going to help you with your work. God bless you. Hope you have a great day. Listen, if you enjoyed the video and you like the new format, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notification, throw me a thumbs up, and I would really appreciate it. God bless you. Have a great day. Keep slinging the paint.